Hello there, this is the Aptitude Guy. Welcome to another lesson video of quantitative aptitude. In this video, we are going to learn about ratios and proportions, and this is part 1 of the lesson video. When it comes to aptitude, when it comes to quantitative aptitude specifically, the three major concepts that you should start with are percentages, ratios, and averages. These three are the tools of mathematics. Every other topic is an application of these three concepts. Alright, so whenever you start with quantitative aptitude, start with these three topics. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with the topic. First, let's talk about the concept of ratios and proportions. This is something that most of you already might know, but still for the benefit of everybody, I'll teach you the basics. Suppose you have 20 eclairs and you have 30 Alpenliebe, and I ask you what is the ratio between them. Now, if the question is framed that way, obviously your answer will be 2 is to 3. But what if I ask you what is the ratio between Alpenliebe and eclairs? Then the answer will be 3 is to 2. Now you may think we are done, but we are not. What if they ask you the ratio between eclairs and the whole thing? Then the answer would be 2 is to 5 because the whole thing is 50. And what if they ask you the ratio between Alpenliebe and the whole thing? Then the answer would be 3 is to 5. Now you may think we are done, but we are not. What if they ask you the ratio between the whole thing and an eclairs? Then the answer would be 5 is to 2. And what if they ask you the ratio between the whole thing and Alpenliebe? Then the answer would be 5 is to 3. Now you may think we are done, but we are still not. What if they ask you the ratio between the sum and the difference between the two numbers? The sum is 50 and the difference is 10. So the answer that time would be 5 is to 1. And what if they ask you the ratio between the difference and the sum? Then the ratio would be 1 is to 5. So you see, with just two numbers, how many ratios could we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could get 8 different ratios with just two numbers. The point is, whenever you are doing a ratios and proportions question, please read the end of the question properly because you have no idea what they have asked in the end. They could have asked anything. So please, please, please read the entire question before marking an answer. Now, let's talk about the basics. Suppose there is a jar full of chocolates. We have a total of 100 chocolates in this jar, only eclairs and Alpenliebe. And they are in the ratio 2 is to 3. So we have eclairs and Alpenliebe in the ratio 2 is to 3. And the question is, how many eclairs and how many Alpenliebe are there? Now, obviously, looking at these very simple numbers, you would automatically say 40 and 60. 40 eclairs and 60 Alpenliebe. Now, there are two ways to solve it. One is the x method that goes like this. We can assume that number of eclairs is 2x and the number of Alpenliebe is 3x. So, 2x plus 3x equals total number of chocolates, that is 100. 2x plus 3x is 5x equals 100. So x equals 20. So eclairs is how many? 2x, that is 2 into 20, 40, and Alpenliebe is 3 into 20, that is 60. 40, 60. This is one way to do it. Another way to do it is slightly different but more direct and faster. So we have to find the number of eclairs. Eclairs is nothing but 2 by 5 into 100. What is 2? 2 is this. What is 5? 2 plus 3 is 5. So 2/5 of 100 is eclairs. And similarly, Alpenliebe is 3/5 of 100. That is equal to 60. And this is equal to 40. So you can either use the X method or you can use the direct method. Completely your choice. Whatever you are more comfortable with, you use that. Alright, that's it. Now let's start with the questions. This is question number 1. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do it. The two most common answers given by people for this question are option B and option D. Let's see what is the correct answer. We have a total of 60 liters. 60 liters of the mixture, where the ratio of milk and water is 2:1. We have milk, we have water, 2:1. So how much milk is there? Of course 40. And how much water? 20. So a lot of people will end up marking option B as the correct answer because 40 and 20. But like I mentioned initially in that Alpenliebe and Eclairs problem, please read the question. The question says, what is the amount of water and milk present in the mixture? Water and milk. 40 and 20 is milk and water. So how much of water and milk is there over here? Of course, 20 and 40. The answer is 20, 40. Answer is option D. Got it? Just imagine you got this question wrong. It hurts if you get this question wrong because this is a very simple question. The only reason why you would get a wrong answer for this question would be out of sheer laziness and ignorance. That's all. That is why I'm saying read the question properly before marking an answer. If you made a mistake over here, that is completely okay. You made a mistake early on, that is a good thing. Please don't repeat the mistake in the future questions. That's it. Let's move on to the next question because I'm guessing you don't have any doubts here, but still, if you do, drop them in the comments. Question number 2. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do it. Two numbers are respectively 20% and 50% more than a third number. More than. The people who got option A as the correct answer, you did not read this part. Okay, so let the third number be C, and that is 100. So the first number is 20% more than 100. 20% more than 100 is 120. And B is 50% more than 100. 50% more than 100 is 150. So what is the ratio over here? 0, 0 gets cancelled. 12 by 15 is how much? 3 4s are 12 and 3 5s are 15. Answer is option C, 4:5. Now what if instead of more than they had given less than? Then what would be the answer? Then A would be 20% less than 100, that is 80, and B would be 50% less than 100, that is 50. So what is the ratio over here? 8:5. Okay, and instead of more than and less than, if at all they had given off, that is 20% and 50% off a third number, then A would be 20% off 100, that is 20, and B would be 50% off 100, that is 50. Okay, so what would be the answer over here? A is to B would be 2:5. Done. So the moral of the story is don't just focus on the numbers over here. Please focus on the words as well. The words will tell you how to use the numbers. Okay? Please be careful while using the numbers. Any doubts over here? Please drop them in the comments. Otherwise, let's move on to the next one. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do it. Now, there is a shortcut also for this question, which I'll talk about in the end. But if you did figure it out, that is awesome. Keep it in your mind. Let's see if your shortcut is correct. In a bag, there are coins of 25 paise, 10 paise, 5 paise in the ratio 1:2:3. If there is 30 rupees in total, how many 5 paise coins are there? Okay, so we have 25 paise coins, 10 paise coins, and 5 paise coins. Now, what is happening over here? They are in the ratio 1:2:3. So let the number of 25 paise coins be 1x, number of 10 paise coins is 2x, number of 5 paise coins is 3x. Alright, now total is 30 rupees. Now a lot of people, what they do is they simply do we have to find the number of 5 paise coins. So they simply do 3 because 5 paise coins is 3x. So they do 3 by 6, 6 because 1 plus 2 plus 3. So 3 by 6 into the total, that is 30 rupees. Now when they do this, they get 15, and then they look at the options and then they see 150 is there, so that is the correct answer. But that doesn't make sense because 30 is in rupees, but we have to consider paise, everything is in paise. So what they do is, okay, paise, 30 rupees is 3000 paise. Now if you do 3000, half of 3000, that is 1500. So in one case you're getting 15, in one case you're getting 1500, never 150. So people think it's okay. I mean, 150 seems more likely, so that is the answer. And that is why, if at all, I change the numbers even in a certain way, you will get the wrong answer. 150 is the correct answer, yes, but if you did it like that, you are absolutely wrong. And if at all I change the numbers in a certain way, you will not get the same answer. Okay, so now let us see what is the actual correct way of solving this question. Now we have X number of 25 paise coins. So what is the total amount of money we get from 25 paise coins? Each coin is worth 25 paise. And how many such coins are there? X. So of course the total amount of money we have from 25 paise coins is 25x. Think about it. If you have some 50 paise coins, okay, and how many 50 paise coins do you have? Suppose you have 8 50 paise coins. So what is the total amount of money? You have 50 paise into 8. That is 400 paise, that is 4 rupees, right? So value of each coin into number of coins. Value of each coin into number of coins, 25x. Plus, we have 10 paise coins, that is 10 into 2x, plus 5 paise coins, we have 3x. So we have 5 into 3x. This is the total amount of money which is equal to 30 rupees. Now, is this equation correct? This is not correct. There is a small mistake. The LHS, everything is in paise, paise, paise. But 30 is in rupees. We need to convert it into paise. Or if you absolutely hate your life, then you can convert the paise into rupees. But I'm pretty okay with my life, so I'll convert rupees to paise. How to convert rupees to paise? Multiply by 100. So 30 rupees will be 3000 paise. Now let's solve for x. We have 25x plus 20x plus 15x, that is equal to 60x equals 3000. So x equals 3000 divided by 60. That is equal to 50. This is why a lot of people end up marking option A as the correct answer, but it's not the final answer. They have asked how many 5 paise coins are there. How many 5 paise coins do we have? We have 3x 5 paise coins. So the answer is 3x, that is 3 times 50, that is 150 coins. Done. Answer is option C. Now I told you there is a shortcut for this question. What is that shortcut? The options will help us out. See, ultimately they have asked us how many 5 paise coins are there. And we know that the number of 5 paise coins is 3x. That means the final answer has to be a multiple of 3. Now all you have to do is look at the options. 50, not a multiple of 3. 100, no. 200, no. The only thing left out is 150. So obviously that is the answer. You can move on in like 5 seconds. But yes, this shortcut is applicable only because of the options. If there was another option like 180 or 210 or 120 like that, then this shortcut would not work out. But sometimes it does work out. So moral of the story is, whenever you get to know the property of the final answer, like in this question we got to know that the property of the final answer is multiple of 3. Sometimes you'll get to know that the answer has to be more than a certain number, or less than a certain number, or an even number, or an odd number, or a decimal number, or a fraction, something like that. Whenever you get to know some property about the final answer, the first thing you should do is check the options. If there is only one option that satisfies that condition, then that is the answer. And if at all there are 2 or 3 options, then it's okay. You would have just spent like 5 seconds of your time. But if it works out, you would have saved around 1 minute of your time. That's a great return on investment. Alright, any doubts over here, definitely drop them in the chat box or the comment section. Otherwise, let's move on to the next one. Question number 4. Four numbers are in proportion. What does that mean? Alright, first I'll tell you the basics of this and then I'll give you some time to solve. Four numbers are in proportion. That means A is to B as C is to D. This means A by B equals C by D. Alright, and they have also mentioned that the sum of the means is 5. What are the means? The means are the things that are mentioned inside. So means in this case are B and C, and the extremes in this case are A and D. These are the extremes. Okay. Now that you know this, try to solve this. Pause the video, try to solve the question. All right, let's solve it now. They have mentioned the sum of the squares of the four numbers is 50. Okay, sum of the squares. Please remember, sum of the squares and squares of the sum are two different things. Sum of the squares is a square plus b square. Sum of the squares. But square of the sum is a plus b whole square. Square of the sum. Sum of the square. They both are two different things. So be very careful while writing the equations. So sum of the squares of the four numbers is 50. So we have a square plus b square plus c square plus d square equals 50. And the sum of the means is 5. So b plus c is 5. Now looking at this equation, we are 100% sure that the maximum value that they can hold is 6. Because if even one of them is 7, suppose d is 7, 7 square is 49, then these three numbers together have to be 1, which is not possible. So the biggest number here is 6, and then everything else is below that. Now let's see what happens. Ratio of the first two terms is 1 is to 3. First two terms, so a by b equals 1 by 3. But this is also equal to c by d because they are in proportion. A by b equals c by d. A by b equals c by d, which is 1 by 3. Now this is what we do. We assume let A be 1 and B be 3. Now what happens? If B is 3, then according to this equation, we have to find C. Now B plus C is 5 and B is 3. So C will be how much? 5 minus 3, that is 2. So C equals 5 minus 3, that is 2. And if C is 2, then according to this equation, we have to find D. D will be equal to what? D comes this side, 3 comes this side. C into 3. C is 2 into 3, that is 6. Okay. So 1, 3, 2 and 6. 1 by 3 is 1 by 3. 2 by 6 is 1 by 3. Makes sense. Now they have asked what is the average of the four numbers. Alright, let's find the average. Average is 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6 divided by 4. Now how much is this? 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12, so we have 12 by 4, that is equal to 3. That is the answer. Option C. Done. Okay, so it's not a very simple question, but not a very heavy question either. Any doubts that you have here, first watch the solution again. If you still have some doubts, definitely drop them in the comments. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. Take your time, pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Okay. The ratio of work efficiencies of Aquaman and Batman, okay, we have the Justice League here, is 5 is to 3. And efficiencies of Batman and Cyborg is 5 is to 8. Alright. So we have A is to B equals 5 is to 3. And we have B is to C equals 5 is to 8. Now who is the most efficient? Many times people end up saying Cyborg here because he has the biggest number over here. But then things are not that simple. The thing is, when B's efficiency is 3, A's efficiency is 5. And when B's efficiency is 5, C's efficiency is 8. So in both the cases, B's efficiencies are different. So we need to find what is A is to B is to C. And then we can figure out the answer. So here I will teach you how to merge two or more ratios. Now for that we need to first figure out who is common. B is common. Now if B is common and 5 and 3 are not equal, we have to make them equal somehow. Now what is the best way to make them equal? Simply find their best friend, which is their LCM. LCM of 5 and 3 is 15. Now how to convert 3 to 15? We multiply by 5. And how to convert 5 to 15? We multiply by 3. That's it. So now the new ratios. A is to B now becomes 5 fives are 25 and 3 fives are 15. And if at all we have B is to C, 5 threes are 15 and 8 threes are 24. So what is A is to B is to C? A is to B is to C equals 25, B is 15 and C is 24. Now who is the most efficient? 25 is the most efficient, which is of course Aquaman. Answer is option A. Done. And what if they had asked in the end, which person takes the maximum time to finish a job, or who takes the most amount of time? That is nothing but whoever is the least efficient. Least efficient person takes the most amount of time. That is Batman. Alright, so the answer over here is option A. Please don't look at the numbers, take the numbers as their face value. Don't do that. You have to convert it into a merged ratio and only then you can find the answer. Okay, if at all it was A is to B is 5 is to 3 and B is to C is 3 is to 8, then B be common and 3 would have been same. Then the final ratio would have been 5 is to 3 is to 8 and cyborg would have been the correct answer. But in this case, it is not. Alright, any doubts over here? Definitely drop them in the comments. Otherwise, let's move on to the next question. Pause the video, try to solve it and then come back. Alright, now in this question, many people get scared of the fractional ratio right here. So let's remove that fear. How to convert a fractional ratio like this into a natural number ratio? That is something I'll teach you now. So we have 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5 is to 1 by 6. Now how to convert it into natural number ratio? The first thing we do is we find the LCM of all the denominators. 3, 4, 5, 6. The LCM of all these numbers is 30. Okay, not 30 actually, 60. Yes. So now all we have to do is multiply this 60 with all of them. 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5 is to 1 by 6. Alright, 60 by 3 is 20, 60 by 4, 15, 60 by 5, 12, 60 by 6, 10. Now it becomes like a normal question, 20, 15, 12, 10. Now we can easily solve this. They have asked what is the amount of the greatest share. The greatest share here is 20. So the answer will be 20 divided by, add all of them, we have 20 plus 15 plus 12 plus 10 into the sum, that is 171. Okay, 20 divided by, when you add all this, you will get 57 into 171. 57 into 3 is 171. 20 into 3, the answer is 60. Answer is option D. Done. So whenever you have fractional ratios like this, the best way to solve it is first convert it into natural number ratio and then solve it like a normal question. That's all. Any doubts here? Drop them in the comments. And if at all question number 5 and 6 made you understand some new concept, or if you always had a doubt in merging a ratio or converting a fractional ratio into a natural number ratio, if you learned something new, definitely consider liking the video so that the video gets saved in the liked videos folder in your YouTube library, so that whenever you need to revise the concept, you can just go there and quickly find it. You don't have to search for it. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Alright, this is a very commonly asked type of question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. All right. Two numbers are in the ratio 3 is to 5. Let's assume that the numbers are 3x and 5x. 9 is subtracted from each. So we have 3x minus 9 and 5x minus 9. Now after the subtraction, the new numbers are in the ratio 12 is to 23. So we have 12 is to 23. The smaller number is what? We need to figure out the smaller number, that is 3x. Alright, let's cross multiply. We have 23 into 3, that is 69x minus 9 into 23. This is equal to 5 into 12 is 60x minus 9 into 12. Now if you notice one thing, I did not write the product of 9 into 23 and 9 into 12. Does it mean that I am an idiot and I do not know 9's table or how to multiply with 9? Absolutely not. I know that later in the solution I can take 9 common for both of them. So I don't really need to multiply them. That is why. Keep the numbers small. That way it will be easier for you to calculate. Okay, so now we have 69x minus 60x. This is equal to 9 into 23 minus 9 into 12. So we have 69 minus 60, that is 9x. This is equal to 9 common, 23 minus 12. So 9 and 9 gone, x equals 11. Now they have asked us to find the smaller number. The smaller number is 3x. So of course 3x equals 33. The answer is option B. Done. Any doubts over here? Definitely drop them in the comments, and if at all you figured out a shortcut to solve this question, there is a shortcut using the options. If you could figure it out, write it with as much detail as possible and mention it in the comments section. I'll definitely pin it up. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do this. Now this is not a very easy question, of course, but actually speaking, the answer, the solution is just one step long. Now the step could be a little long, but there is only one step. Let's do this. I'll go very slow, please concentrate. There are three containers A, B and C. Okay, we have A, B and C, and they have milk and water. Okay. Now, the first container, container A, has milk and water in the ratio 1 is to 5. Okay, so we have 1 part of milk and 5 parts of water. Now, if I ask you a very simple question, if I ask you, in container A, what portion or what fraction of container A is milk alone? What would you say? Is it 1 by 5? No. Is it 1 by 6? Yes. Because there are 6 parts totally in container A and milk is just one of those parts. So milk in container A is 1 by 6. And how much is water? 5 by 6. When you add both, you'll get 6 by 6, that is 1. Got the point? So milk is 1/6 of container A, water is 5/6 of container A. Similarly, how much is the milk in container B? We have 3 is to 5, milk is to water. So milk is 3/8 of container B and water is 5/8 of container B. Alright, and in container C, milk is 5/12 and water is 7/12. Done. If at all you understood this part, then 70% of the solution is done already. Okay. So what does this mean? In container C, 5/12 of the entire container is milk and 7/12 of the entire container is water. Now, if the capacities of the containers are in the ratio 5 is to 4 is to 5. Now, in container A, 1/6 is milk, but 1/6 of what? 1/6 of the total capacity of A. Now, that could be 10 liters, 100 liters, 1000 liters, 50 liters, 500 liters. We have no idea. But the capacities are in the ratio 5 is to 4 is to 5. So we can assume that container A has a capacity of 5x. So milk is 1/6 of 5x. Similarly, water also is 5/6 of 5x. Now B's capacity is 4x. So milk in container B is 3/8 of 4x. and water is 5/8 of 4x. Similarly, in C, the capacity is 5, so 5x, milk is 5/12 of 5x, and water is 7/12 of 5x. Done. So this, now if at all you want to find the entire amount of milk here, we need to add the milks, and the entire amount of water is add the waters, and then we divide the whole thing to get the ratio. Let's get the ratios now. First of all, we need to cancel things out. First of all the x's will get cancelled because you can take x common in numerator and denominator and cancel the whole thing out. After that, we have 4 and 8 over here. So 4 2s are 8 and 4 2s are 8. Okay, let's solve it now. This is equal to, what is the LCM of 6, 2 and 12? The LCM is 12. Now 12 by 6, 2, 2 into 5, 10, plus 12 by 2, 6, 6 into 3, 18, plus 12 by 12, 1, 1 into 5 into 5, 25, divided by, again the LCM 6, 2 and 12, the LCM is 12. 12 by 6, 2, 2 5s are 10, 10 5s are 50. Okay, plus 12 by 2 is 6, 6 5s are 30, plus 12 by 12 is 1, 7 5s are 35. Done. 12 and 12 get cancelled. What do we have here? 10 plus 18, 28. 28 plus 25 is 53, divided by 50 plus 30, 80. 80 plus 35 is 115. Answer is option B. Like I said, the solution is just one step. It's just that the step is a little calculation heavy. That's all. If at all you have any doubt in any step over here, make sure you re-watch the solution, and if you still have that doubt, definitely drop them in the comments. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The next one is a very similar question to this. If you understood this question, you will be able to solve the next one. Pause the video, try to solve it, and then come back. Alright, let's do this. The proportion of milk and water in 3 samples is this. See, it's the same way. So again, let's assume that there are 3 containers A, B, and C. And we have milk, we have water. Now milk and water, 2:1, 3:2, 5:3. So how much is milk in container A? 2 by 3. So milk in container A is 2/3, water in container A is 1/3. Similarly, milk in container B would be 3 by 5 and water should be 2 by 5. And then milk over here is 5 by 8 and 3 by 8. Done. And they have mentioned a mixture comprising of equal quantities of all the 3 samples. If everything is added in equal quantity, that means what is the ratio? The ratio is 1:1:1. Okay, so you can actually waste your time and write into 1 into 1 into 1 into 1 into 1 into 1, but then you'll just be wasting your time over there because anyway all the ones will get cancelled, right? So you don't need to. Let's save our time. In order to find all the milk, we have to add. In order to find all the water, we have to add. And then the ratio is this. Okay, now let us solve this. LCM of 3, 5 and 8 is 120. We have 120. 120 by 3 is 40. 40 into 2, 80. Plus 120 by 5 is 24. 24 into 3 is 72. Plus 120 by 8 is 15. 15 into 5 is 75. Done. Now let's go to the denominator. Same LCM again. 120 by 3 is 40. 40 into 1 is 40. Plus 120 by 5 is 24. 24 into 2 is 48. Plus 120 by 8 is 15. 15 threes are 45. This one gone. This is equal to, what do we have here? 80 plus 72 is 152. 152 plus 75 is 227. Divided by 40 plus 48 is 88. 88 plus 45 is 133. This is why a lot of people mark option A as the correct answer. But this is not the correct answer. Why so? Read the question again. The question asks the proportion of water and milk is what? Water and milk. And 227 by 133 is what? It is milk and water. Okay, so please be very careful. Milk is to water is this. Therefore, water is to milk equals the exact opposite, 133 by 227. The answer is option D. Alright, now there is a shortcut also, a slight bit of shortcut over here. They have ultimately asked for the ratio of water and milk, right? And if you notice here, milk and water ratios 2 is to 1, 3 is to 2, 5 is to 3. Everywhere milk is more than water and water is less than milk. So if at all we want to find the ratio of water and milk, the first number should be small and the second number should be large. So we are looking for a ratio where it is a small number is to a bigger number. Now if you look at option A, it is big is to small. Option B also big is to small. Option C also big is to small. Only option D is small is to big. So obviously this will be the answer because we are looking for water and milk. So if at all you thought in that way, you don't have to calculate anything over here. But yes, again, that depends on the options that you have. Okay, if you completely understood question number 8 and question number 9, then subscribe to the channel will be amazing. All right, let's move on to the next one. Question number 10, pause the video, try to solve it and then come back. Okay. A camel pursues an elephant and takes 5 leaps for every 7 leaps of the elephant. Alright, so the ratio will look like this. 5 camel leaps is to 7 elephant leaps. Please understand what this means. This does not mean that 5 camel leaps are equal to 7 elephant leaps. No. It simply means that when an elephant leaps 7 times, a camel leaps 5 times. A leap is basically a small jump like this. Imagine an elephant jumping or a camel jumping for that matter. So yeah, this is what the first line means. But 5 leaps of elephant are equal to 3 leaps of camel. Okay. 5 leaps of the elephant are equal to 3 leaps of the camel. So 1 leap of the elephant is equal to 3/5 of a camel leap. Now all we have to do is substitute this over here. We have 5c is to 7 into E is 3 by 5 into C. Now what happens here? C and C get cancelled. 5 goes this side. 5 5s are 25 is to 7 3s are 21. Answer is option B. That's it. That's all. Any doubts here? Definitely drop it in the comments. But it's a pretty simple question. Alright people, this brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If at all this video solved some of your old doubts in ratios and proportions, consider subscribing to the channel and of course like the video so that it gets saved in your liked videos section of the YouTube app. Press the bell icon also so that you get notified of new lesson videos like this. If you want to watch the previous video, it's right here. And if you want to watch part 2 of ratios and proportions, it's right here. Alright, this was the Aptitude guy. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.